Hello, everyone. We are live. I have a very special guest who's going to be coming in. So we are going to do the countdown right now. Hey, everybody. Welcome. She was just asking me how serious we have to be. I'm like, we don't have to be very serious. So today, I am so excited. It's been so long since we've been, all right. I used to do these all the time. I was actually looking on my timeline. I saw all these videos of me and you. So I'm super excited about this. So you guys, I've been doing this whole series about doing strategic planning. And Miss Janice, she lives in the office.
I do live in
the office. Okay. That was a Freudian slip.
Yeah. My husband's wondering, like, where is she? Oh, he's like, oh, she's at the office.
Yes. Yeah. So we're office suites and office mates. And she was telling me about some of the challenges that she's having about getting systems together. I know that's why I dropped down my seat. So we wanted to talk about it today. So we have another meeting, but we have like books and notes and stuff like that. So let's just go ahead and get started. We're going to jump right in.
When are we getting started at?
Okay, so let's just pick up where we left off and get everybody on board. So where we left off last time was that we were talking about this year. Oh, you want to talk about that? Okay, let's talk about something else. What are you going to talk about? We can talk about something else. What do you want to talk about?
I know, it's always something.
Okay, but tell me about this, because I know that you're working on a 12-week plan, so we'll pivot.
Yes.
Tell me about the 12-week
plan. Okay. I think I'm working on this 12-week plan.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Quarterly goal.
Okay. So this is the new thing that I picked up.
Okay.
Because I'm like, okay, this is the thing that I'm feeling from a lot of my agents. Yes. Because when the new year comes, you'll set all these goals like in December and stuff of what your 2023 is going to look like. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, 2023 is here.
Right? What is today? The 13th.
And it's the 13th. So I got a lot of my agents, they're actually having anxiety because they're like, I don't know. I feel like I'm off track already. And it's only 2 weeks into the year.
Yeah.
Right? Because we set ourselves with all of these crazy goals. I don't want to say crazy, but sometimes we do push them a little too far. But then it looks huge. And then you get there and be like, how am I going to accomplish?
Right.
It's a lot. That's a lot. I was just
talking to Kimberly about this the other day.
You were?
Yeah, about taking small steps and stuff. And so I love that because a lot of times we get overwhelmed with the scope of the problem and like how to eat an elephant.
One bite at a time. That's where that came from.
Right? So you're going to be doing a 12-week plan.
So I picked up the book.
12-week year. I've never seen this book before.
The 12-week year.
Yeah. What do you think?
So I don't know. I just started it. And so I'm a little different, everybody. So I grab books and I start from the back.
Oh, really?
That's interesting. Because I'm nosy. I don't know. I like to kind of see what the end is going to look
like. Like literally the last chapter?
I just kind of just like, okay.
That's interesting.
No particular page. No, nothing. And be like, oh, okay. Oh, that's kind of interesting. I may read like some of the comments in the back and all that kind of. So then I'll go there and then I'll start moving. Then I just start going into just picking a page. Like, there's like some revelation, like I have this energy or something that's saying, no, pick this page.
Really? That's interesting. So I can't do that. Like I gotta read a book from the beginning to the end.
I get there though. Okay. I do. So
but you just kind of go on.
And then I'm like, okay, I like this book. And then I was like,
okay. And then you'll go and read.
And then now I'll start from the beginning because you really need to start from the beginning and get to the end because I'm feeling like and especially something like this, it's telling you a path. It's giving you a path to follow.
Right.
So it's like, you can't jump in the middle and say, okay, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to do everything that I want. So something like this, I know that I need to start from the very beginning and just start from the beginning. But look at this. And I shared this. Let's see what it So I opened it up to the greatness in the moment.
Oh.
don't know what chapter this is, but it's in something, and it was talking about making that decision. You set your goals, but a lot of times they say, and we don't do anything.
Yeah.
But you got to really make that decision to say, okay, I'm going to do this no matter what.
Yeah.
And so it was talking about Michael Phelps. So they used him in here. It says, I would argue that Michael Phelps didn't achieve greatness when he won his 18th gold medal or when he won his first. It says he became great when he decided to do the things that would allow him to win.
Interesting.
Once you make, once your mind is made up, that's when it's like there's no stopping you.
You know what's really interesting about that is because I saw this one thing that Tony Robbins was talking about, like setting standards, and he said that you don't get what you want, you get what you like must have. Like you get your must haves. Like there are people who, like Kimberly, for example, like she must run. She runs every single day, and so that's what makes her a runner. And so a lot of times I think that we make those decisions, but they're just kind of like things that we would kind of like want to have, but they're not like musts that we have. Like if your kid was sick and you had to go get medicine for them, like you would find a way, like you would figure it out, you would move mountains. So you're going to make sure that you do it. A lot of times we make those decisions, but we haven't really kind of like integrated them into our lives, into our personalities. And so I think that's why we sometimes fall away on those decisions. And so I think one of the things that even with having one of these systems is understanding, like making that decision, but why is that decision important to you?
Exactly.
Why is that decision important to you? And also maybe like, what are you willing to give up to do it? Because sometimes you have to sacrifice things to get new things.
Right.
I don't know why we have to do that though. It'd be nice if you could just get whatever you want.
Well, you just want to have your cake and eat it too.
Yes, of course. What's the point of having cake if you can't eat it?
How can that really work? Because let's go back to Kimberly again.
Yeah.
Because some days she don't want to run every day, but she has it in her goals that what she's going to achieve every year is that she's going to run every single day.
And you know what she does too? She does they call it habit stacking, where you like put something with something that you already do to make sure that you continue to do it. So like let's say that you wanted to do squats every day. So do squats while you brush your teeth, because you're always going to brush your teeth. So when you do the squats while you brush your teeth, you're like habit stacking together. So like I know she says she'll keep her running clothes underneath her clothes. So it's like, okay, when I'm ready to run, there's no excuse, just take off my clothes and now I'm out there to go and run. And so it's like you're habit stacking because like I'm already here, I got my shoes in the car, like I'm already ready to go.
One less excuse.
One less excuse to make sure that you get the job done.
Excuse. Yes. Exactly. And when we're saying Kimberly, we're talking about Kimberly Smith Austin.
We love her.
We do. We love her. We love her.
She's
we
great
love
motivation.
Her. But yeah, absolutely. And it is. It's about that why.
Yeah.
And I know everybody here about, well, what's your why? What's your why? But I'm going to tell you, there's one guy on our team, and he says if the why doesn't make you cry, it's not big enough. Because, well, no, not cry. It may not. I know when we say cry, it's like sad cry, but it could be a good cry because it's so in tune to your inner soul.
I guess I'm not a crier, so maybe it's cry. I like goals that make you right. I like goals that make you fly, like goals that make you like dream bigger. Because one thing I've noticed in my life is that I've always dreamed too small. Because when you hit that goal, you're like, I'm already thinking of the next goal that I should have done. So I'm wondering if maybe we should have goals that like make us fly, like make us think a little bit. Yeah, push you to like there's people who are trying to leave this earth. People who want to colonize other planets. Like, you have all of this new technology that's going on. We have the virtual reality. We just got like a VR set. And it's like, you think, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really.
Those are interesting.
Right? It's very interesting. But, like, think of like where we're going to be something. Okay, so I love playing Beat Saber. So I love playing Beat Saber.
Is that the one where you hit?
Yeah, where you're slicing.
Yeah,
and then and I love to play it, but then I turn on the walls, and that's where I get into trouble because I'm moving side to side. And I go and run into the closet. I'm like, what did I hit?
God.
What did I hit?
Yes. Oh my goodness. So every time we play that thing, my husband he'll like kind of put a square and push things away, try to keep the dogs away and everything. And he was like, I'm just going to watch you because I really get into stuff. It's like, I'm there.
Right?
Slice
you get a good song too? And it's we're all off subject, but I love it. But you know what?
Focus. That's all about focus.
And you know what though? It's also a good celebration. It's a good celebration. And sometimes as adults, we don't take the time to celebrate.
We don't.
You know why? Because like, let's say you make all of these goals. You have your 12-week plan. You remember when you were young and Christmas was like this magical time that you just looked forward to as a kid? I don't know if you celebrate Christmas, but like for me, it was it was like a magical time because it was something to look forward to. So maybe while you're doing your 12-week plan, maybe there should be some type of a celebration for everybody hitting their goal. Like I would actually recommend that since you and your team are going to do this, maybe you could do like, oh, you know what I used to love for them to do is they would send you on like little hotel trips and stuff. So you could go like on a little trip to Vegas or something like that for people who accomplish their goals. Because that gives you something to kind of think about, something to be motivated towards. And celebrate, you know, or buy that VR set that you've been thinking about getting.
Yeah. Why do you got to wait all the way to the end of the year or, you know, sometime to celebrate when really, you know,
should always be celebrating
throughout the
and they say that doing goals in 12-week bursts is actually really good. And especially now with things changing so much. Like you think of what happened between like the 1st of January 2020 to March, January of 2020.
Yeah.
That was 90 days. And I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen. So having your goals, having something to celebrate, having ways to like pivot, I think these are all really good strategies. Let me ask you a question. So I know you're using these new tools, right? And I think tools are very important because tools help us to manage. When we have systems, they manage the people, and then we can manage the systems. So what do you think, because you're reading this book and you're getting your new goals together?
I'm just trying to release so that everyone's not so stressed out.
Why do you think people get stressed out about their goals?
Because it's almost like an anxiety, you know, about getting all of the things done that they want to get done. And I think because they're only looking at the finish and not looking at the process of getting there, if that makes any sense. Because it's little steps that you have to take to get to that big goal. And when you break it down into those little steps, you know you're on the path to the right place.
Oh, like you're hitting those little milestones, so you know you're on target.
Right.
Oh, so maybe the issue that people have when you're saying like that anxiety is like, okay, I have this big goal that I want to accomplish, and I don't know how far along the path that I am. And so having something that says, okay, in order to accomplish the big goal, there's like 5 steps. So you need to do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So now in that 12-week plan, if you're on step 2 and now you're at week 8, now that's a cause for concern because you only have, you know, 1 more month and you still have more steps to go. And so I think that's really important for people to kind of be able to see where they're going with each of those steps. Now, do you guys have something visually that you're going to put up to kind of hold people accountable? Because one thing that's really important when you make goals, especially when we're leaders, is to have like a visual workplace that you can kind of go into so that you can like look at it and say, hey, I'm walking in here and you are, you know, 90% at your goal, you're 50% at your goal, you're 30%, you know, and maybe we have like some cheering sessions or we have some power sessions that say, hey, we're going to do like a power hour where we're going to shut off all of our phones, put all your phones in here, we're going to take them away and we're going to turn on some relaxation or, you know, thinking music, and everyone's going to do it like a power hour. Or we do like a phone bank hour and everybody gets together and we make phone calls for an hour. So like as a leader, you know, one of the things that I've struggled with is that not everybody likes to buy into the system. That who are you telling? Not everybody likes to buy into the system.
And that was part of it too. Because I also, that's so funny you brought that up, because it's like when you're an independent contractor, your whole reason for being independent contractor is because you like, I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, you're your own boss. And if you're always doing the things that you want to do, you ain't doing the things that really needs to be done. And
who are you telling? Who are you telling?
And then you be wondering why I'm not making it. It's like, well, because you're being your boss and you still got to do the nasties.
Yeah.
In order to.
That's the hard part about being an adult is you have to parent yourself.
Dang.
Yeah. I thought those days were over.
But you know what? Who was it? I saw there was someone on our team too, and I think they do like the martial arts and stuff. And Mike, matter of fact, and he had put up on his board at the gym. It says discipline equals freedom. Now let's think about that for a minute, because if we're so independent, a lot of the independent, we just don't want someone to control us, right?
Yeah.
We want to be in control of our own thing. But the discipline is really discipline of doing the things that you need to do, whether you want to do them or not, actually will give you more freedom.
Yes, because now you don't need to have somebody tell you what to do. There you go. When you first said that, I was like, discipline equals freedom.
Yeah.
Why would that equal freedom? But I get it, because if you can discipline yourself, then nobody has to come and tell you what to do. You don't need somebody to give you, you would already have picked up the book and be like, I'm already reading it.
Mm-hmm. And you're creating your freedom.
Yeah.
So that you can be able to do all
You know
that.
what?
And really you are, because you set your own discipline.
You know what's interesting about that? I don't think everybody wants to be free.
Really?
Yeah. That's something that as I've gotten older, I had to come to a conclusion. I don't think everybody wants to be free. I think that, because think about it. If somebody tells you what to do, how much stress does that alleviate for you? If you think about this,
Also, you don't have to think.
Right? Because there's infinite choices out there in the world now with the internet. Because like before, it was like you buy this, you have Coke or you have Pepsi, right? You have this, you have Sprite or you have Sierra Mist. Like it was just one or the other. Like you didn't really have very many choices. So it was a lot easier. Now with the internet, you can do your Sprite and put grape or strawberry or this or that, or like, you can have Sierra Mist and you can have all these different, they have one machine that will give you almost 100 different compilations of sodas. So now people have that paradox of choice. They can't make a decision.
And too many choices.
Too many choices, they can't make a decision. So now you're sitting in a situation where you want to make a decision, but because there's so many options, you don't know what to choose. So that's like, I want to be put back into a situation where I don't have to be responsible for those things. Just tell me what I want to, just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do at 9, at 10, at 11, at 12. And that's why some of these plans work. And think about it. It actually comes back from like being in school. Because in school, like you got to get up at this time, you got to be here, you got to go to this class, you got to raise your hand. It's very structured. So when you get out into the real world, you become an independent contractor, you're your own boss. That's where that discipline comes in, because there's no teacher telling you what to do. There's no parents telling you what to do. There's no boss telling you what to do. So it's like, on one hand, that is freedom, but sometimes too much freedom can actually put you in a little bit of bondage.
Exactly. You end up not doing anything at all.
Right.
You end up not doing anything. And I'm glad you brought that up too, because that's another thing that we talk with our agents as well, is like, because there are so many choices and there's so many things that what do you it comes by and you want to jump on and say, oh, I should do that. And it's just like, okay, you can't do everything. So you have to focus on a few things and work on those so that you can, get something done, because otherwise you're going to be always chasing the shiny object and you're never getting anywhere. So you're really just doing this hamster wheel thing and not getting anywhere. And it's like, okay, I need you to decide, just focus on what you're going to do: farming, social media, and open houses. Right. Okay, let's focus on those things. Let's work those till we can't work those anymore. Let's perfect them, and so on and so forth, so that you can reach your goals. Otherwise, there's always going to be a shiny object. There always is. But yes, there's better ways. I know people, open houses, that's so old school, or door knocking, that's old school, or whatever. But there's new ways of doing those things.
You know what would be really cool? And maybe you could do this. The Oculus glasses? Like, do you guys ever do like 3D tours where you can put on the glasses and they can walk around? That would be really cool.
Well, see, what we do, and see, during COVID, that was a big thing, right? So you could actually get like these disposable kind of those ocular glasses, and you could send those to people, and they could actually do the 3D tour.
That'd be cool.
It was so cool, right? So, but now what we offer is still, no matter what, we always offer 3D tours where you can get on the computer and you can just drive, look up, down, around, almost like you're still there.
It's another good thing to think of too. It just reminded me of Common Core. One of the things I don't like about the Common Core curriculum is that on one hand, it's great because it teaches you all these different ways to solve a problem, right? And then what would be ideal is that you pick the way that works for you, and then that's the way you would get tested, right? So, but what ends up happening is you get tested on all the different ways, which kind of like defeats the purpose of like having a way that works for you. So maybe like when you're giving people all of these options of doing this, maybe they need to find like their niche of what they're really good at, like what they convert consistently on. And maybe that's something that they spend the majority of their time on. Because I'm a real big believer in like statistical data, because like when people say it doesn't work, like how do you know it doesn't work? Have we measured it? Is there any data that shows that it didn't work? So like if social media was your thing, well, how much did you post and how many times did you share? There's a lot of analytics that you can look at to find that information. And so I think it's always good too when people are saying that something doesn't work, is to like really dig into the data, because you'll find that a lot of times when things don't work, people didn't really work them.
They didn't really
They didn't
work them.
It didn't really work.
Yeah, and so like we run into that as well with the farming thing, and a geographical farm. So when people pick a geo, they say, "Oh yeah, because I want to take over my neighborhood. This is where I live. I want everyone to know that this is what I do." And so if they're ever thinking about selling a house, they're going to come to me. I know the neighborhood. I live there, so I'm going to take on this farm area or this geographical farm area. Okay, great. They'll do it. I said, okay, well, how often are you going to, service that area? Are you going to put out some flyers? You're going to door knock, do open houses in there, make all of that stuff work for you. If you're going to do open houses, do them in the farm area, your geographical farm, right? Let's do it. If you're going to do social media, then local into there, so that can really blow up and explode. You're going to do door hangers, you're going to do mailers into that specific area. And then they'll do it for like 2 months. And it's like, oh, this doesn't work.
Right.
And it's just like, what did you really do? Well, they may have done one thing. Oh, well, I put out some flyers. Right, but you really didn't work it.
Yeah. But another thing too, though, again, we got to go back to how people have been conditioned, right?
Instantaneous results.
And what was the standard? You say you're supposed to hand out flyers. How many flyers? How many houses? How many open houses? When? Where? Like when you start to get really specific with people, then you can start to even measure how well they did to their plan. So it's like, okay, I'm going to hand out 500 flyers. How many did you actually hand out? I'm going to post this many times. Well, how many times did you actually post? Because then when people say it doesn't work, now we go and say, okay, well, maybe it didn't work. And let's go and look at the system first. We're not going to blame the people. We're going to look at the system. And then we go through and we say, well, how many flyers? I did 200. Okay, well, you said you were going to do 5. Well, how many posts? You said you were going to do twice a day. Oh, I only did once a week. Okay, well, you're not even, man, So that becomes a really big indicator, right? So how can we say the plan doesn't work if no one worked the plan? How can the plan not work if you don't work the plan? So,
oh my goodness, have I heard that somewhere before? Something like that.
Yeah, like, or what do they say? You can't complain about the results you don't get for the work you didn't do. That's a word. That was a word for somebody. Let's just let that clear out of the air right there.
I kind of like the greenery behind this.
I know. That's good.
We get serious and then all of a sudden we just let's digress into something.
But I think this has been a good, because I feel like we've given, if you paid attention to the whole thing, there were nuggets in there. We're going to take out some of those nuggets, because I think the 12-week plan is good. Holding people accountable is good. Having celebrations is good. Get you a VR set. Celebrate. Get you a Beat Saver. That's fun. We can play on friend mode. That's fun too. Have you played on friend mode?
I don't know what friend mode.
Oh, you got to call me. We can play on friend mode. We can do a party. You see the one like when you do solo or online or party? Like
I have no idea.
We can do a party now. We can do a party, and that way that when we're doing it together.
What kind of party?
It's like we'll beat save together, and like you're on one side, on one side. Yeah, we can see our avatars, and then we'll have the things coming at each other. Yeah, we'll do the same.
Oh, I didn't know they can do that.
Yeah, so we can do a party. That'll be our celebration.
Oh my gosh, and it's really good exercise,
right?
It is. Yeah,
it's really good exercise, especially turning the walls on, dipping, dabbing.
You will be doing a little sweat.
It's a lot of fun.
Just some sweating going on with that thing. I'm telling you, that is something else. And I don't know if you got into the one where you're like in this building and you're walking and you can actually fall out of it. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking at that. We found the 90-degree one. That was crazy.
My husband and I do dates on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go into the spaceship and look at Earth. Yeah, we look at the Earth.
Where's
and
that?
Everything. Yeah, it's in there. I don't know what he calls it. My husband does all that stuff.
Okay,
my husband's the tech guy. I just follow along. So I'm like, oh wow. Ooh, where's that? Oh, that's China. Yeah. Right. So we're in the spaceship, and there's a little robot that comes in and visits us every now and again, and we'll sit there, and then sometimes we'll go into the movie theater. Have you gone into the movie theater?
No.
Okay, there's a movie theater. There's a movie theater. You can go in there and you can watch a movie together, and you're sitting there, and you can do it with other people. So you can go in there with other people, or you can just do a private movie with just yourself. Yeah.
So
do you have the little? You got the individual thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then you can see your arms and stuff. Yeah.
That looks creepy. looking at your hands, and that's
It
creepy.
is
Yeah, that's
kind of
creepy.
fun. But
You know what? That's going to be fun. So, but thank you so much.
Are
for
we
joining.
done?
Yeah, we're done. You know, we've
Already?
been on here for about 30 minutes. I'm going to chop some of this up because I think there was some good nuggets in here. Did you want to leave us with the quote?
I did.
Please,
I saw
leave us-
something. It
Yes.
says the encouraging news is that regardless of how you performed in the past or how you are performing currently, you can be great beginning today. Simply by choosing to do the things you know you need to do.
And you know what, too? On that note, just to piggyback, is the thoughts that you thought a couple of years ago have manifested the life you have today.
Amen.
So the thoughts that you're thinking today are going to manifest the life that you're going to have tomorrow. So that's why it's important to get your 12-week plan together.
And talk to Nikisha.
And we're going to have another strategic planning meeting after this, which I'm really, really excited about.
Are you?
Yes,
Okay.
I love
Yeah,
doing
me
that.
too. I'm so excited about it. I've been dreaming about it. I'm like, oh Lord.
This is going to be so good. We're going to be talking about setting up systems that are going to manage teams, and it's going to let you fly higher and help you to scale. That's what we're really about. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Bye.
All right, what are we going to talk about next time?
I don't know. We'll figure something out.